Wonderful idea for suggestions for guests and topics.
Great events, programs, the student documentation.
All the factors are useful.
Welcome to this week's segment of Dialogue Houston. I'm your host, Lawrence Payne. To our regular viewing audience, welcome. To those joining us perhaps for the first time here for HCC's TV Dialogue Houston, we can be found now every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 a.m. and again at 6 p.m., Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. As always, at the top of the hour, let me thank you for your very thoughtful calls, emails, and text messages concerning previous shows we've aired here on HCC TV Dialogue Houston, but particularly your ideas for guest topics and subjects to be covered on upcoming segments of Dialogue Houston. For after all, this is your community affairs, public affairs show here on HCC TV, now proudly in its 26th season. We have a great show lined up for you today. We're going to look at a couple of aspects of things happening in Houston that support students here at HCC, and then another wonderful program called Capital Idea that also does great work in getting people the education, training they need that leads to real employment, real jobs, real money, as does the HCC programs. As we know, it is really about not only getting one into the program, but about retention, about doing all the things we can to undergird, nurture, and support that student in their journey along the way to graduation. Be it a certificate program or whatever it may be, 2 years, et cetera, doesn't matter. You got to give them that wraparound services they need to be successful. Helping to do that in a great way here at HCC is Adrian McClain, who is advisor of the Pathways and Case Management Program, which he's going to tell us all about. But it really is one of those designed to really make sure the student is well served, whatever they need. Welcome, Adrian.
Yes, thank you so much.
Great to have you here.
Me. Thank you.
This is another one of those great, innovative, creative things that we do here.
Yes.
To try to really figure out what do we need to do in every aspect of a student's life to help them be successful.
Yes, indeed. And so here at Houston Community College on the Central Campus, we created the Transfer Center, which we are totally excited about. Bringing this service to students, because we do, like you said, we want to make sure that we give the whole student that whole experience and the resources that they need. So we know that we have students coming straight from high school. We also have lots of students that are transferring in from other universities, or that student that's just coming back, that's returning from college because they've been out for a while. And so what we want to do is provide those students who are looking to complete their associate's degree here and transfer to the university.
Right.
We want to make partnerships with the universities because that's what community college is. We want to serve the people in our community, but we also want to make relationships with the universities as well. So that's what we had started over at the Central Transfer Center, which is available for all students in the HCC system, that they can come and they can get some of these resources as we're going to talk about.
As you mentioned, because they come at different ages, different levels, background, skills, careers, coming back to college for the first time, a long time been out or whatever, you have such a mix of a plethora of students in the background. To be able to accommodate each one and do it in a very personalized way really becomes the key.
It does become a key. And that's why the Transfer Center was a key part of this, because as advisors, we see students from all walks of life. And sometimes that transfer part can get lost in translation sometimes. So we wanted to create a way and a space that we can really focus in on those students who are looking to, one, graduate here, because we want them to complete what they have here. If it's a certificate level or if it's an associate's degree, we want to make sure that we spend that time and allow them to finish what they started here at HCC, but then also give them a connection with the university.
For the next steps.
The next steps too, and hopefully to get them a contact person at their university, because going from a community college to the university, that's another major transition. And that can be a big deal for a student, and we want to be a resource for them to pass the baton to the university.
And our partner universities that we have, which are many, which we're going to talk about some of them, we already have in place a lot of those articulated agreements
Yes.
that allows us to make that transfer easily into the next phase
Yes.
of that. Because as we were talking before we taped, it is helping that student not only just to succeed, but we want them to thrive.
Yes.
We want them to be able seamlessly to move into that next level, whatever that may be, whatever they're choosing or calling will be, to do it in a way that allows them to make it a seamless transition.
Yes, and that's very important to have those agreements with the university because it's a big part of what we do in advising. You know, when a student come in, I really like to ask questions about what do you plan to do in your next step? What do you know what college you're planning to go to? Have you done the research for that college? And if so, we can look at those degree plans, and based on what the student wants to major in, we can look at the courses that they can take here at HCC that will transfer over to that university. So they're not just taking random courses here, but that's going to help them along the way to complete their bachelor's degree at the university that they choose to transfer
That's
to.
important because with limited time, resources, family considerations, many of them trying to figure out how to get that next certificate degree so they can increase their salaries, increase their living earning potential for their families. And that's a daunting task sometimes to juggle all of that.
Yes.
I know students here, because we've had them on the show, doing 2 jobs.
Yeah.
They're doing, I had a young man a couple of years ago doing 2 full-time, I don't know how he's doing it, 2 full-time jobs, a part-time job, and still going to school.
Going to school, yeah. Yeah.
I said, when do you sleep? When do you rest?
Yes, when do you rest? They come to us in those real life situations, you know, and I try to be real with my students because I want to know all of that as well. So we can see how we can build your schedule around the time that you do have available, but not only that, that you're going to be successful in those courses as well.
And even when people are trying to help you, let me correct myself, 1 full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. And even though the people are willing to work with him on his schedule, he was being able to be flexible and do it all. Even with the flexibility, you have no time.
Right. Time.
For self, for anything.
For anything. But I do like to tell students to remind them that when you're in school, it's only for a period of time.
There you go.
So you won't be doing, your schedule should not be like this for a while. It's just a period of time, you know?
That's what they told me too, because I worked the whole time I was in school.
Yeah.
And this too shall pass.
Yes.
And you're doing it for a reason. And
Yes.
you're doing it with a goal and vision in sight.
A goal in mind.
So keep that in front of you.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the universities that we're working with.
Yeah, so some of the universities that we are partnering with our local universities that we're partnered with is the University of Houston main campus. We partner with Texas Southern University, University of Houston downtown, the University of St. Thomas, to name a few. Those are some of our top 10 transfer schools that we do partner with. So starting in March, which is next month, we are starting what we call Transfer Tuesdays.
Okay, I love it. Transfer Tuesdays. Easy to remember.
Transfer Tuesdays, TT.
TT.
So, and those are ways that we're strengthening our partnerships with the universities. We're bringing them on campus to our transfer center, which is located in the Science Learning Hub building in room 214. So every Tuesday.
And give us that address again.
It's going to be the Science building, the Science Hub building, and it's in room 214 on the 2nd floor, just past financial aid.
Okay.
So on Tuesday, students can come. They don't need to make an appointment. Any HCC students can come and meet with these different universities. So the first one that we do have coming up is on March 3rd, which will be the University of St. Thomas.
Yes.
So the University of St. Thomas, we have UHD that following Tuesday, Lamar University. We have Prairie View A&M, and we have the University of St. Thomas is going to close out the last Tuesday of the month as well. So students can come, like I said, and visit with the individual universities to find out transfer information, scholarship information, information about the programs that they offer as well.
Okay. And if you throw in Taco Tuesday, Well, with Transfer Tuesday, you'll have an automatic hit on your
We will
hand.
have a hit.
Because nobody can refuse. And you're starting with my alma mater, University of St. Thomas. So
Yes,
I'll tell them if ACC doesn't do it, bring tacos when y'all come.
Tacos
You know,
when you
so
come.
let's do it. So, but I think that really gives them a chance to come meet the representatives, kick the tires, ask their questions, get comfortable, as you said, make that all important network contact.
Yes. To
Face
make
and a
that
name and a
contact.
number and an email, so you can
Yes.
have somebody there who you really know at the
Yes.
university.
And that's one thing that's important to
Yep.
us in the Transfer Center is that students make the connection with a university
Yes.
rep. So they do have a name and
Right.
number that they can call on because, again, that university can seem huge and it's like, who do I
Yes.
call?
Yep.
Who can I contact? Now we're bringing them on campus so you can make those connections with the university
We're going to
rep.
dive a little deeper into this. We're going to take a small pause and break in a minute. But before we do that, there's something I always add and throw in at times like this because that's just what I do and I've been doing it for years. So it didn't, you know, it was a little exercise they had me do when I was in school, and as business cards. Every student should have a business card. Just name, phone, email. Let's maybe put HCC student on the bottom because you ain't got a title yet, you're a student. Well, what I've learned in those exchanges like that, with colleges and representatives, with job fairs, with all those things that we do, that when you have your own little personal business card, which you can get printed simply in Instaprint or something, you stand out, you make a difference, they remember you, you give them yours, they give you theirs. You write on the back of the little card the note that you need to make to follow up, so do they.
Yeah.
And it just makes it a very personal thing. I learned that from some students that were at school at U of H from Japan. They all had their little business cards, and that's a kind of a ceremonial thing. They actually hold on to it with both hands, and they put it in your hand. And I had a guy tell me, he said, I remember every one of these students.
Wow.
So it's just a little thing over the years that, you know, that's like the personal handwritten thank you note.
Yeah.
That, by the way, we still do and should do, the personal handwritten little thank you note that you put in the mail the next day. It's all those things as a student
Yeah.
that help you to really have that personal connection, because you said it so well, and you said it in a different way, but it's the same thing. It's about establishing that relationship early on as you can, relationship built on mutual trust and respect, and it kind of goes from there. I got to take a break. We're going to take a small pause. When we come back, we're really going to dive into this because I'm really having great fun with Adrian, looking at how we help the nurturing, undergirding, and supporting of every student in a very specialized, personal way. Please stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Meet Travion. His mom went to Houston Community College, so choosing that was easy. Choosing what to study from more than 100 instructional fields? Not so much. HCC, for everyone, anytime.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Meet Saskia. She loves cars. Seriously, she whistles at them. So she's studying engineering at Houston Community College. After that, a 4-year degree. Then it's off to the races. HCC, for everyone, anytime.
Great conversation during the break about all the things we used to do for students in high school to prepare them for community college, for junior college, for 2-year programs, 4-year programs, with a sense of who and what they are. I think the advisee and mentor and mentee program through the advisor pathways and case management that Adrian McClain is doing with her group is kind of getting back to some of that, because you can raise a lot of these things in the forms of suggestions to the students and help them navigate the things that were done for us, that were navigated for us by adults who said, no, you need to look at this, this, and this. You need to understand how this, and this work. And by the way, they're coming in to present it to you next week.
Yes.
So it's not optional.
Yes, yes.
So,
it's not optional at all, because we have these programs and these services that we are creating for our students. And I know that we had talked before break about the Transfer Tuesdays programs that we do have, but coming back to the conversations that we were having about the things that they used to teach us in school, we're having Transfer 101 workshops as well.
Okay.
Because a lot of times students, they may not understand all of the steps it takes to transfer once they complete here, or even what they need to do once they graduate and the steps to graduate from HCC. So we go through those steps as well: how to apply for graduation, how to apply and to go and get your cap and gown for graduation.
It sounds so simple, but it's all those things become very important.
It's all those things, because those are different steps that you must complete. Because if you want to receive your diploma, you have to apply for graduation to receive that diploma.
Kind of works that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, to be mailed to your home. So we have those types of steps. And another way that we're partnering with the universities are with the Transfer 101s, because we're going to do presentations with them.
Okay.
So the first one again is with the University of St. Thomas. They will be here the first Wednesday in March to partner with us with Transfer 101 workshop. That's going to be available to all students to come and just learn the basic ABCs to transferring.
You know, Houston, with its changing demographics and the changing face of the future of public urban education and the future workforce, HCC is a Hispanic serving institution / persons of color serving institution. Yeah, because I have to even say that in Houston, because the demographics of the city is basically moving in that direction.
Yes.
Well, University of St. Thomas is also now designated as an Hispanic serving person of color university. And I think since this is Black History Month, African American History Month, that it's important that we kind of connect those dots together. That the future workforce at Houston will predominantly be children of color.
Yeah.
The future demographics of Houston is a children of color demographic. Now, having said that, it's not an either, it's a both and. It doesn't say anything about anybody else. But our friend, Dr. Stephen Kleinberg at Rice University, who kind of is the person who kind of guides us in all of this, his annual Houston area annual survey says very clearly that the city is moving from being a minority city to a majority city of people of color. But I tell, when I give talks at the high school level, because HISD is a great example, 10,000 kids this school year, only 8.9% of those kids left are Anglos. 8.9 out of 209,000 kids. So I tell the district now, you have a majority-minority district.
Yeah.
If I got to put a word in front of the word majority, I got to put the word the unempowered majority.
Yeah, and that's again,
because that's the challenge of getting a quality education.
That's the challenge, and that's again one of the reasons why we wanted to create the Transfer Center as well, to bring the universities on our campus to service our students. For those students who couldn't make it to Prairie View A&M to go for a college visit, we're going to bring them here on campus so you can talk to a representative there, and maybe we can find ways that we can take students on those college tours.
And that's important.
To those universities.
You know, in the case of Prairie View, we always teach, I love Prairie View, it's a great university, it does great work where it is sitting out there in the wonderful, pretty land. But if you were in another city other than Houston, you'd have regular bus service to Prairie View.
Yeah.
You could take a city bus from Houston to Prairie View, you know. Because of Houston, we're limited. You can't just get up one morning and say, I'm going to Prairie View unless you have a car.
Right.
There's no rail, there's no train, there's no bus.
Yeah.
All right, they took the rail line up, that rail line that used to run all the way from Houston out to Prairie View. They took that rail line up, never figured out why they did that.
Yeah.
Could put a commuter train on that rail and be done with it. So you have to have special things like this to make it work.
Yeah.
To get the students where we need to get them so they can be a partnership and match.
Exactly. So yeah, we're trying to create those creative ways to, like we said, bring the universities on campus and hopefully work with the universities so we can bring them to their campuses as well. And so as we talk about different universities that we're partnering with, we not only partner with Texas schools as well. This past fall, the fall before last, we had Southern University on campus from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They came up and they did what we call a transfer preview day. So that's another one of our services that we offer through the Transfer Center, where we have universities on campus. They come out and they bring their admissions office, they'll bring financial aid, they'll bring representatives from their different programs, their departments that they have. And in those transfer preview days, that's really a day where they showcase their university. They come and they bring all those departments, and they also bring they also will waive application fees for students. Some of them will waive application fees. They'll bring their swag with them from their colleges as well. TSU last spring brought the TSU Tiger here. They brought their cheerleaders here as well. So it's just a way that they can showcase their school in any form that they want on our campus here. And so some of the other schools that we have coming up, on March the 12th, we have Southwest Minnesota State University. They will be on campus for a transfer preview day. So we're excited about that as well.
I actually been on that campus when I lived in Minnesota. It's cold.
It's cold.
Beautiful, but cold.
It's cold, yes. So I'm sure that they'll be happy to come down here to a little warmer weather.
As we start this process, it's going to be ongoing every semester. There'll be a series of colleges and universities.
Yes, there'll be a series of colleges and universities. We work close with communications to have we have flyers and posters around the central campus, so students can find information and dates and times when those colleges will be on our campus. Also, we send out text messages and emails to students as well, letting them know that these events will be happening in the Transfer Center. And again, this is for all HCC students. So if you're at Northline or if you're at the West Loop, you are welcome to come to any of these events that we have as well.
And students and parents are welcome.
Yeah.
And community leaders can come see how the process works.
Yes, they can come
and it's
as
a good way
well.
to kind of always say, come see, touch, kick the tires, and kind of see who and what we are and what we do.
Yeah.
I've always said this about ACC over the years, as we've watched it now into our 50th anniversary year here, that the caring and nurturing and supporting and undergirding of the student is so important to the success of retention and graduation. But we do it in a way that if you want to succeed, there is something in a way here at ACC to make it happen.
Yeah, there is.
It has all the tentacles and all the pieces, plan A, plan B, and plan C. If that don't work, then we'll do this. If that don't work, we'll do this.
Yes.
All right, because it's geared to, as a community college, it is geared to helping you succeed.
Yes. That is what we're here for. And that, again, like I said before, creating these programs and creating the Transfer Center for that student.
So give us the date again of the first Transfer Tuesday.
So the first Transfer Tuesday is going to be March 3rd. The University of St. Thomas
Yay.
will be on campus. We'll be in the Learning Hub Science Building in room 214.
And what time is
And
that?
it will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
All righty.
So there will be a representative from the University of St. Thomas. And then the next day, Wednesday, March the 4th, they'll be here for a Transfer 101 workshop.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to get a little bit deeper about what it takes to transfer to St. Thomas University.
Which, by the way, you'll love. It's a small university. Everybody knows your name. It's a very, it really is a very personal experience. I can speak very clearly about it as a graduate and alumni. It gives that same feel here at HCC. You're not a number. You're not a statistic. You're a person. You're a human being. The same kind of wraparound services that is provided here for you at HCC is there at the University of St. Thomas. And in this case, size has its advantage because it is a small university
Yes.
that allows everybody to really know everybody and
Yes.
work together.
So we have the small universities to the big universities. So our transfer preview days, the first one is on March 12th,
Okay.
and that will be with Southwest Minnesota State University. We also have the University of Houston main campus coming on the campus on April 2nd.
Yep.
So they will be here for a preview day on April the 2nd.
And when you think about University of Houston main campus, as one student told me sitting in that very chair who transferred to U of H, think about it as your department and your discipline. Don't think
Yes.
about it as the whole big university, the whole big
Yes.
campus. You're going to be focused in this area and these buildings and that discipline and that
Yes.
degree plan. That's where you're going to basically be.
Yes, I just told a student that earlier this week.
'Cause it can be overwhelming if you think about it in the
She
big-
was overwhelmed by it, and I told her to just break it down into a department.
Yep.
I said your classes may be in 1 or 2 buildings.
Yeah, exactly. What are you majoring in? And that's what you focus on.
Yes, yes.
Well, Adrian, this has been a pleasure to have you on, and
Thank
we're going to
you.
continue to make sure we talk about the wonderful transfer centers
Yes.
and the academic advisors, and the way we're going to continue, as we have always done here at HCC, for the 50 years of its existence now and going into the next 50, to really care about the individual student, the human being, the future workforce of Houston, Texas, and beyond, to qualify, to prepare them for the world of work that they're going to be involved in, which is rapidly changing. The skill sets needed, the things needed to be successful in that arena is changing almost daily with technology. And so it's going to be an interesting path as we go forward. So we're going to take a small pause and break. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by our friend Michelle Paul with Capital Idea for some of you, and for others, we'll continue the dialogue later. So until then, as always, it's a pleasure to have you join us and to come to your households every week. Until then, peace, power, and love.